Go.
Okay, good morning, class. Welcome to Health and Musical Education. First, I'm going to need 3 volunteers. I'm going to take you one at a time, but I need a volunteer from each table group. We won't take one for this table. So, one, or if someone doesn't want to go, someone can go. So talk with your table mate and pick out who wants to go first. So Smitty's going, who from this table? Chris is going? Billy's going. Okay, so I'll take Billy first. We're going to have everybody turn and look over here since there's more room over here. And I'm going to explain it first time, and then we're going to do it the same way when Smitty and Chris come up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply toss these balls to you, and you're going to try and catch them, okay? Okay. All right, so here we go. Okay, did you get them all? Perfect. Easy enough? That wasn't too bad? Round of applause. All right. All right, now I'm going to throw them a little bit quicker, right? Okay. Try and catch them, okay? You ready? Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so we didn't catch all of them, but you still got 4 of them, so that's not bad, right? Okay, so we're going to go one more time. All right, you ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to come pretty quick this time, all right? Try and catch as many as you can. All right, here we go. Why did you catch them? What happened? Okay, all right, so who's going to come next? Billy, you want to help me pick these? Yeah. So Chris or Andrew is going to come next. We can do the 4 if we can't find the other one. We got them all. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go nice and easy the first time, right? So here we go. Caught all. Good job. Round of applause. Okay, now you're going to come a little quicker this time, just like it is Billy, okay? Perfect. Caught all 5 again. All right. Now the last time. All right? You know what's coming, so you should do better, all right? You got it? Yeah. Here we go. Hey, we got 1. All right, perfect. Round of applause. All right, Smitty, we'll do your turn in real quick. Okay. I was going to drop them the first time. Oh, well, you can't drop them all the first time. Now they're on the back there. We're going to just go with 4 this time. Hey, one. Okay, so here we go. Nice and slow. Good job. Round of applause. Good job, Smitty. All right, a little quicker. Good job. Round of applause. All right, here you go. Cut 3. There we go. Good job. All right. So, think about the activity. What was hard about what was easy about the activity at first?
There's only one thing to focus on.
There's one thing to focus on every time? Yep.
Slower moving.
The slower movement. Perfect. So what happened as we progressed through the activity? As they started coming quicker, and then at the end, how they all came at the same time?
Elements.
It's hard to focus just on one when they're all coming at you.
It's hard to focus on one. Yep. So why would that make it more difficult? Some from this side of the room. If you couldn't focus on one, what was difficult about catching all of them?
So you can't catch something else or like not thinking about it.
Exactly.
Even
Okay.
if you could catch one in each hand, and you still left 3.
Yep, you still have 3 that you couldn't catch. Okay, so relate this to stress. Think about stress in your everyday life. How would, when stress is easy to handle, how is that relative to the beginning of the activity when it's coming nice and slow? Anybody? Yeah.
When things are coming at you and you can manage them, you can think about them and take time to catch them.
Yep.
It's a lot easier than when a lot of things come at you at the same time.
Exactly. So when stress is coming nice and easy, it's one thing at a time. You can handle it. It's not tough. It's not affecting your life. However, when stress builds up over time, when you get a test, maybe girlfriend breaks up with you, struggles at home, everything kind of comes on you at once and things get difficult and they're tough to handle. Okay, so does that make sense to everybody? Perfect. So that leads into what we're going to talk about today. So at the end of the lesson, let's have Jan. Can you read our first objective?
Then we will be able to identify 4 steps.
Yeah, so at the end of the lesson, you're gonna be able to identify 4 different types of stressors that, you have in your life. And Claudia, can I get you to read the second one?
The student will be able to articulate how music therapy is beneficial to stressors and emotions.
Perfect. So, just to explain that one, that's gonna talk about how music and music therapy can be used as a stress management technique to help you, instead of having all 5 of the racquetballs come at you at once, take them one at a time to be able to handle them better. Okay? So, first what we're gonna talk about is we're just gonna talk about the 4 different types of stressors. There's 4 different categories for stressors. The first one is situational. Second one is environmental. Third one is biological. And then the fourth one is cognitive. So just off the top of your head, does anybody have an idea about what, like, one of these categories, what one of them might entail, what they might be about? Robbie, do you have any ideas? Nothing? Billy?
A situational stress when we have the big test coming up.
Exactly. A situational stressor is going to be something that's just a situation in your life. So it's not going to be an overarching issue, an overarching problem. Just like Billy said, it could be a test. This is also relationships, so maybe Robbie and I are really good friends and we're fighting because we disagree on something. It could be your parents are in a fight because they're upset at each other about something. It's something that is causing problems now, but it's eventually going to go away. What about environmental? Okay, any idea what that might be?
It might be like if you come from a poorer family and the stress of trying to make ends meet.
Perfect. Environmental is going to be stuff that's sort of within your control, but kind of outside your control. So coming from a rougher neighborhood, maybe it's an inner city, so it's really loud, so you have sirens going off, you can't sleep at night, dogs barking, potentially it could deal with pollution, something along those lines. Perfect. Amy, what about biological?
Biological stress,
Stressors.
stressors.
Yes.
If you have a health problem or physical condition.
Health problem, physical condition. In older age, yes, especially for probably your parents or maybe grandparents, that could be an issue. Robbie, you got something?
What about like, because growing up, there's always like the tall kid that hits his growth spurt first, so he might get stressed from other kids. Would that be an example?
What is a period of time that every teenager goes through, that all of you guys have gone through at some point? Or maybe
Puberty.
Puberty is the... Thank you, Chris. But puberty is the biggest biological stressor that anybody runs into. And then finally, what about cognitive? Just a quick example. Sorry.
Is that like more or less like, I can't remember, like thinking or like?
Yep. Yeah, you're on the right lines. Yep.
So it's like maybe like your different thought processes are like off.
Cognitive could be possibly like a learning disability. Maybe you're taking a new science class,
Okay.
Information's really difficult. Anything that is kind of in the way of learning. Okay? So does everybody have a good grasp on those 4? No questions about any of them? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to have you work. You're going to work with your table mate. I'm going to assign you a different category of stressors, and what you're going to do when you get your category, I want you to come up with a list of as many examples in that category as you can come up with. Okay? So does everybody, if you understand what we're doing, thumbs up. Okay? So Billy, what are you going to do when you get the category of stressor that you're working in?
I'm gonna write as many stresses that are in that category.
Perfect. And Claudia, who are you working with?
Amy.
Who?
My table
Kate. Table mate. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to have Robbie and Smitty work with situational stressors. We're going to have Jan and Billy work with environmental. We're going to have Chris and Kate work with biological, and then Claudia and Amy work with cognitive. Okay? Take about 3 minutes and come up with as big a list as possible. Okay?
If you had some sort of
Would that go with?
Or
maybe we'll just say like all like the mental.
I was wondering how yours.
Give us an example of
Is that,
anxiety, depression.
would anxiety or depression be cognitive or biological?
We'll figure it out, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
We will discuss that. Work with your, get as much as you can in your list, and then we will discuss them as we put them up on the board. Okay.
I have a question about what could
You
be,
guys coming?
You have,
yeah.
Struggling?
I don't know, we have four.
We think this could be biologically related, but also could be cognitive.
Elaborate.
Like, it just depends on what it is and how it is.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, because they're both still technically is a biological process, it's also, yeah, those are kind of gray areas. But you also, we'll talk about it. Okay, take about another 30 seconds to get your list.
I mean, that's kind of situational too. But that's like 9 months of situation.
214.
214, okay, perfect.
Or 114.
Can we do like lessons?
Okay, all right, everybody, eyes up here, please.
Yeah.
Finish up your thoughts when you're done, look up here, please. Perfect, okay, what we're gonna do now is, I want you to take the next about 30 seconds with your partner and pick the best 3 or 4 that you came up with. I want you to star those, and I want one of your partners to come up and write it on the board underneath, your category, okay? So go ahead and take about 30 seconds to pick your best examples.
You really,
Got some good ones? Good job, Robbie. What?
I was broad, read, and mental
What'd you-
illness.
what'd you say? What's that?
Pregnancy.
Thanks for that conversation. And then when you're done writing on the board, you can leave the markers up here, you can just go ahead and sit back down at your desk.
trying to be a 10th grader, you know, be the funny kid.
You are the funny kid, Robbie.
Funny looking.
Okay, that is not, that in this classroom, Claudia?
Like I said, Robbie's getting beat down.
That is
a good one.
especially as 10th graders.
That is a great one, Seth.
We were at first.
You were boyfriend or school?
You stretched the one.
That would be a stress.
What happens if they break up with you, then you don't want that to happen.
I gotcha.
High school relationships last forever. I mean, high school relationship, average 2.
Okay, so here we go. For situational stressors, we have test, sex, athletics. Environmental, we have poor area, like poor area of town, loud noises, and then weather. That's a good one. Biological, we have puberty, mental illness, and pregnancy. And then cognitive, we have learning disability, mental illness, and ELL. Okay, so take about 10 seconds, look at the board, see if you have anything you have questions over, or ones you want, or example that you want explained a little more, or maybe if you see any ones that you feel should go in a different one, possibly. If you do, just raise your hand and we'll call on you. Chris?
Could, like, a weather or loud noise be a situation as well as a norm?
Yes, they could be. Loud noises, like possibly, being at a concert maybe, or say you're doing homework at your house and your sister has friends over, possibly that's situational because that's not going to be a reoccurring thing usually. When looked at from the environmental aspect, kind of the example we gave earlier, so it could be constant traffic, maybe you are in a situation where your sister's constantly loud or your parents are always fighting, then it could be an environmental thing because you can't necessarily get away from it. Whereas situational would be the example like with your sister having friends over, they'll be there for a couple hours, but then they're going to be gone. So it's stressing you right now, but it's not going to be a huge